This is Lindsay White, Module 15, 5 New Technologies. The 5 new technologies I chose were Nearpod, Shobi, iStation Reading, Epic, and Prodigy. This is the third video, and the third video is over iStation Reading. iStation Reading, I chose it because it is a reading curriculum supplement that gives students individualized learning plans. My goal when using iStation Reading in my classroom is to supplement reading curriculum and give students individualized learning at their level. The audience for iStation Reading is my students, and then this video is for my colleagues, and the standards being covered during this video are ISTE-E 5A and 7C. When you get to iStation.com, this is what your screen will look like. They have reading, math, Spanish. My district actually pays for the math part, but all pre-K through 8th grade have the reading for free. If you don't live in the state of Kansas, I would check and see if your state provides the reading. So when you go to log in, you click the login button. And from there, you are going to click Find Your Campus. So all schools in the state of Kansas are in this database. And so I'm going to type in my school, and then our city. Once I click that, then I have my login that was given to me by our district. So I am going to log in so you can see what this looks like. Sadly, on our computers, I'm not able to show you what a student looks like because we have them set up for iPads, but iStation is compatible for computers. So what I really like about iStation is I have all these different reports that I can run for my students. So for reading, there are tons of reports, and my favorite one to run is a summary handout. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click Run Selected Report. Now we use iStation to help tier our MTSS because it will tier your students into Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 students, which is very helpful. Whoops. Let's see while this loads. So we've got this all loaded for one of my students, and as you can see, it tells you exactly their overall reading, their letter knowledge, phonemic awareness, alphabetic decoding, comprehension, vocabulary, and spelling. Now this would change the different sections depending on what grade you were teaching. But for kindergarten, this tells me that this student is a Tier 3 student, and this shows their growth throughout the year. So you can see that pretty much overall, he has been growing all year long, and this is from September to March. This space over here, he did test in April and May also, but those are the two big indicators. So this is my favorite one just because it gives you how they're doing. Like here, his phonemic awareness has gotten worse throughout the year. And I think part of that is because we did not focus as much at the end of the year as we did at the beginning of the year. But you can see his vocabulary went up a ton and comprehension went up a ton. Alphabetic decoding went down some and spelling stayed about the same. So all of these reports are taken off of the iSIP. And the iSIP is an on-demand test that students are given every month at the beginning of the month. It's always on the first of the month. And then they are able to see where they are and how they're doing. During the month, they work on skills that they need to work on based off of the iSIP. So we are going to look at those goals that they set. So under Classroom, you're going to click Goals. So now you can see what they scored on their iSIP, which is in gray, and then what their goal was. So right here, his iSIP goal was 191, and that's exactly what he scored. Here, his goal, he scored a 199, but his goal was 193. Here, he scored a 178, but his goal was 195. So here's really cool where you can meet with students and show them if they're meeting their goal or not. It tells them what they should be getting. Next, what I'm going to show you is what's called on-demand and assessments, which is when you feel like you need to give your students a little more testing. So with on-demand testing, you click the on-demand assessment, and then you can see exactly how students are doing and if you feel like they need to be tested again on a particular spot. So wherever students are a 1, they probably don't need to be retested. If they're at a 3, they probably should be, and 2s, that is a teacher's choice. So just to make an on-demand test, which would be the ISIP again, you would put a check mark there, and then you would say update on-demand assessments. Successful, they have been assigned. The next thing I'm going to show you is you're going to go to Classroom and you're going to click Assignments, and here is where you can assign students what you would like them to do. So I'm going to say Create Assignment, and here I'm going to add all my students. Click Proceed to select activities. Now this is a place that you can also select just your Tier 3 kids or just your Tier 2 students. So I am going to click Early Reading, and I want to do sounds. So I can add these different games in for them to work on them. So I want them to do Clapping Clara, which has sentences, 1 2-syllable words, 2 3-syllable words. We want to work on 2 3-syllable words, so that's going to go ahead and add that in there. I also want to have them do Read to Understand, and I want sequencing. So I can add all of these. I can only add one. So this is, it tells you exactly, it is a compound word book. This has students use graphic organizer to order events, decodable book, or another decodable book. So I want both these decodable books. We also want to work on characters. So this is a graphic organizer, and this is about character traits and emotions in a 2-chapter book. I don't think either one of these is good for my students, so I'm not going to pick either one. Now, I might want to do some letters and words, R-controlled vowels, and then a lot of people say, oh, I can't see anything, nothing's popped up, nothing's here. Make sure that you scroll up. So we're going to do AR, OR, ER. Then I'm going to say proceed to name assignment. So I might say reading. So now that has been added, and it says 0 of 22 students have finished. Here's an example of my math. It says 2 of 22 have finished this math. Like I said before, iStation is a great way to tier your students for MTSS. They have a lot of teacher resources. They also have a help center. They have probably monthly webinars that you can go to. We've had people come into our district. They have a lot of really cool resources. If you wanted to work on comprehension or something with your kids for reading, you can find lessons that are already pre-made. I have used these lessons before with having my para teach them, because they are really easy for somebody to follow along with. So if I click down here, it has all sorts of different parts. So this is rhyming and a poetry. They have all sorts of different things. I highly recommend it. I will also, below this video, put a link for a little more about iStation and what it's about.